We're going to make a black bean burger that is really good. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Input English. Today we're going to make black bean burgers. So what's that all about? Well, in the United States, hamburgers are super common. They're very popular. Most of us grew up eating hamburgers, either hamburgers made at home or hamburgers made at the various fast food places. They are very popular. People eat hamburgers every day. Now, in another video, I explained that I actually switched over to a whole food plant-based eating plan because it made sense based on my study of lifestyle risks that our society has. I said, well, to myself, I'm not gonna eat the standard American diet. That's what I was brought up eating. It's what I was taught to eat. It's what we're used to eating. But there are real big health consequences for that. Now, I'm not on a restricted diet where I don't get to eat anything I like. No, not at all. What I'm doing is choosing really good food that comports well with a whole food plant-based eating plan. Does that mean I can't have meat? No, I can have meat. When I made that meatloaf the other day, I tasted it. It was delicious. I just didn't eat a lot of it. When people tried to adapt foods like hamburgers to a whole food plant-based eating plan, there were some challenges. One of the things that we saw is that plant-based was easy to do, but the whole food part of that was difficult because plant-based burgers are really highly processed foods. And the other thing is the psychology of it. There was a product, I think it was called the Impossible Burger, and its claim to fame is that it bled like meat. I found that really disgusting. I won't eat it. So it bothers me when we're trying to fake something. Anytime something's being faked in life, it bothers me. So I want things that are genuine. So a whole food, plant-based burger could be a black bean burger, or it could be the burger we're going to make today that has black beans in it, but it's a lot more interesting and it's a lot more delicious. Now, this is not an old family recipe. This is actually an original recipe. I've seen it nowhere. I learned it from no one. I put this together myself, and it is delicious. Not just me saying so, but people I've served this to. People like this burger. It's not meat. It's not supposed to impersonate meat. It's a vegetable burger, but it has all the good things that a hamburger has. And people just love them. They're also very satisfying. They're rich and satisfying, so it's not like you eat something like this and then you're immediately hungry. No, this is rich, delicious food. So we're going to do that today. The ingredients are lentils, of course, black beans, eggplant. Yeah, really, eggplant. Onions, mushrooms, some seasoning, and then we have our black bean burgers. So let's get started. Okay, 1 eggplant. I usually break these leaves off because I don't want to fight with them when it comes out of the oven. I want to handle this more easily, and so I just break the leaves off. So now we have an eggplant. If you put this into a super hot oven, it will explode. Don't do that. How do I know? I did it. Not today though, and I'm not going to make that mistake more than once. The way you avoid exploding your eggplant in the oven is put holes in it that allows the steam to come out through the holes, and it doesn't pressurize the skin and it doesn't blow up. So I just put, I don't know, 6 or 8 holes in it. It's on the cookie pan, the baking pan, and it's going into an oven. So I put the timer on for 25 minutes. It's not real crucial how much you cook this. You need to cook it enough to where it will separate from the skin, and then you can blend it in with this mixture, but it's going to be cooked as the burger. Now, how do you cook these burgers? Well, hamburgers are usually grilled or cooked in a frying pan, fried, but these burgers don't have meat in them. And so the problem I run into with this particular recipe is that they don't flip over very well, even with a good spatula. And so I'm not trying to make a scramble, I'm trying to make a burger. And so I've come up with a very good method for doing this, but I actually use a silicone rubber cookie sheet, and I put the burgers on it, form them on it, and I cook them in the oven. And then that way they don't have a problem with being flipped over, and it's just very slick. So we have an onion. Okay, so we need to break down this onion. And for this recipe, a half an onion is probably enough. So I don't think we need a whole onion, but we need onion for sure. So I have chopped up 2 moderate-sized mushrooms and about a half an onion. So they go into the bowl. Now, I have pre-soaked the red lentils. These red lentils were a half a cup of dry lentils, and to that I added a little more than a cup of water and put them in the refrigerator for 3 or 4 hours. And they absorbed most of that water, and they substantially doubled in size. So they're going to make up a lot of this burger, and they are the part that are going to need to cook. So when you blenderize lentils, the question is, how much water do you need? Because if they don't have enough water, the blender cannot work. So this Magic Bullet blender is good at doing this, but it needs to have a fighting chance with enough water. So we're going to fire it up, see what it does, and I'll look at it. It may need a little bit more water. Nope, we're good. Now, we don't need this to be super, super thin. We don't need that. We just need it blended up to where it doesn't have a whole lot of whole lentils. So I didn't blenderize it until it was a fine, smooth puree. It's got a little bit of texture in it. So that is going in the mix. So I put the blenderized red lentil mixture in with the onions and mushrooms. We should have some black pepper in here, so this is a good time to put that in. Now what happens, what do you do if it's too runny? What do you do if you get to this stage and it's just really liquid? It isn't like this, but it's just too wet. What do? You can't take water out of it. Well, what you do is put some rolled oats in. Just some regular rolled oats, like you were going to make oatmeal. Just sprinkle it in and stir it, and just add oats until you get the consistency you want. It's not a bad thing, because oats are good food. Rolled oats are minimally processed food. Now, there are different kinds of rolled oats. There are just rolled oats that you have to cook for like 20 minutes. That's good food. And then there's the instant rolled oats that you just kind of put it in the microwave or pour boiling water on it, and you know, that's ultra processed food, so we don't buy that. I buy regular rolled oats or steel cut oats. I try to buy minimally processed foods, not ultra processed food. So this mixture has a good consistency. I'm not going to add a lot of moisture to it in the future steps. We're going to get the eggplant out. It's going to be kind of water neutral. Put that in here and break it up with a potato masher to mix it all together and make sure there are no big lumps of eggplant. And then the weight that this holds together is ground flax seeds. So what I do is get all the components in there and then grind about a quarter cup of flax seeds. Put that in here. And then this will, the flax seeds absorb a lot of moisture and they kind of turn the thing into something a little more solid. Then all you need to do is mold it into the discs to make the burgers, put it on the cookie sheet, put it in the oven, and then it takes a long time to cook this. It's not like a 5-minute burger that you're frying on the cooktop. No, this is something you plan ahead. And when I put black bean burgers in the oven, I'm assuming they're going to take 45 minutes to cook at 400 degrees. So in another 13 minutes, the eggplant will be done. We're going to pull it out of the skin real easily. It's super easy. We're going to pop it into this mixture, give it a quick mix, add our ground flax seeds, and then we're making burgers. We'll bring you back when we get to that stage. So the eggplant has come out, right out of the oven. Just need to slice open the top of it, and then we reach in with a spoon and pull the contents out. Not worried about the skin at all. Gave it a coarse chop. I want to blend this together easily. I don't want to struggle with this, so a coarse chop is the way to go. So now we just need to mix this up. There's no right or wrong answer on how to do this. I do want to break up some of the black beans. I don't want to turn it into a puree. I want texture, but breaking up some of the black beans is part of this recipe. So rather than do it with a food processor, I'm going to do it with a potato masher. This is designed to break up things. Now, if you looked at this and said, well, I want it to be darker. I don't like it this light color. And this isn't what it's going to look like when it's cooked, trust me. But if you said, I want it darker, you could substitute for the red lentils, you could substitute black lentils, and you could have a burger that's as dark as you want. This is a recipe that once I give it to you, you can do anything you want with it. And if you want to substitute black lentils, that's super fine. Now, I put a quarter cup of flax seeds in this spice grinder. You don't necessarily have to do this. You can't use flax seeds without grinding them, because they just go right through you. We cannot digest intact flax seeds. So if you buy flax seeds and you want the nutrients in them, you need to break them up mechanically. You can use a mortar and pestle, you can use a grinder, you can use this kind of a device, or you can buy them ground. The price of them whole is way lower than the ground price. So I have one of these, so I buy whole flax seeds. Ground flax seeds store very well. They have so much in the way of antioxidants, they don't go rancid on you. So this is a grinder, which works a lot better if you plug it in. our ground flax seeds. And now we just mix this all together. Now, I would like this to be a little stiffer than this. I don't like it quite so liquid. So, as I mentioned earlier, you can just put a little bit of rolled oats in here. The rolled oats are an excellent ingredient in this recipe. It's not a sign of weakness to add rolled oats. There are a lot of sources of flavor and texture in this burger. This is the kind of consistency I like, where it's not too liquid. You can smell the onion and the eggplant and the mushroom. It smells good right here, but it needs to be cooked. So what I'm going to do is make some burgers. This stuff will keep in the fridge for a week. Now, the reason it won't stay in the fridge for a week is it's so good, it'll get eaten. But it's not like you look at this and say, oh man, that's too much food. No, you can cook as much of this you want today and then keep it in the fridge in a container, and you can cook it in a couple of days. I have kept this, there's nothing in it that's going to spoil. There's no animal product in it. So you need not worry that it's going to go bad in your refrigerator. I would be very comfortable cooking it a week from now if I still had it. I usually cook 4 or 5 of these and then keep the rest in the refrigerator. The mold gave us the basic shape. And then what I'm going to do is just flatten them down a little bit so they're not quite so tall. These silicone rubber cookie sheets are great, but they're not perfect. It's tempting to put oil on them to make them even better. No, don't do that. You don't want to do that, because what happens is that oil will cook onto it and turn into kind of a varnish, which is stickier than the silicone rubber. So you don't want to add oil to it. This has no added oil at all. And these things clean up very easily, just a little sponge and some soapy water, and you just clean it up, and they are super easy to clean up. So they're going to go in the oven, and then to get these off of the sheet after they're cooked, I have this little Japanese spatula. I don't know what it's called. I bought it in Japantown in San Francisco. Had it for a while. It is super thin, and it just finds that interface between the burger and the silicone sheet, and it just makes it super easy to get these things up. So these go in the oven. It's going to be about 45 minutes, and I will bring you back when we have a result. See you soon. Okay, so these came out of the oven 45 minutes flat. I checked them for texture with a spoon in the oven, and you want them to start getting firm and a little crispy on the top. You don't want them squishy. So a very thin edge spatula is good for getting them off this sheet. Don't be in a big hurry to take them off this sheet. I would just let them sit and let them cool down a bit, and then use the spatula to peel them off. What I don't want to do is tear the back side off of it and have it stuck to the cookie sheet. It just kind of comes with the territory. If you want to try frying these in a pan, with some oil, you could do that. A Teflon pan, a nonstick pan. I've done that a few times, and that's why I do it this way. These will come off easily if I let them cool down, and then I'll just put them in the refrigerator. They microwave up very well. Put them in a bun, put the appropriate garnish on it. These are delicious. When I was putting it together, I said, don't worry about that color, the light color, because it won't look like that. And this is what they look like now. They darken up when they get cooked. So this is by far my favorite black bean burger. I've fixed this lots and lots of times. I've served it to other people and I've had no complaints. People very much like them. This has some crunch to it, but it's very moist. And once you add it to a nice whole wheat bun with some garnish, it is a delicious burger. And you know, let's go back to the beginning. I want to be authentic. This is not me trying to fake somebody into thinking they're eating meat. No, this isn't meat. This is a black bean burger. It stands on its own without trying to fake you out and make you think that it's something it is not. It's a black bean burger. So, hope you enjoyed this. I encourage people to drop comments below. Give me your thoughts. Of course, like and subscribe helps us build the channel. And I hope you'll join us in future videos. We make a lot of videos. We'll see you soon.